The Ganges River, Ganga, is the sacred river. The heart of India, the Kumbh Mela festival is the largest on the planet, with hundreds of millions of people from all over India flocking here. Huge streams of people like tributaries converge on the city of Varanasi, the sacred land on the banks of the sacred river. The Ganges River has been the same for thousands of years. Mysterious, inviting, seductive, the Ganges River, where thousands of years of customs blend, still exists on the margins of modern life. The Ganges River of legends, hovering next to the meaning of life of philosophers. The Ganges River is mysterious day and night. The Ganges is the most important river of the Indian subcontinent. The 2,525-kilometer-long Ganges originates from the Gangotri Peak in the majestic Himalayas of north-central India, flows through the plains, and flows southeast through Bangladesh into the Bay of Bengal. The Ganges is considered the holiest river and also holds the heart of India. From its source, the Ganges flows through cities and industrial centers, is the main water supply for more than 400 million people, and is worshipped by billions of devotees. The Ganges is an inseparable part of Indian culture as well as the life of every devout Hindu. Along the Ganges River, we see the faces of Taoists. They are followers of Hinduism, the oldest religion in India. Taoists are often seen as serious and rarely smile. They seem to always be silent as if contemplating the existence of humans in this world. In their minds is the supreme being who covers supernatural gods. India is a country with thousands of gods. Taoists will find their own main god to follow, or their consciousness will be immersed in the mist of gods, helping them to exist in such a way to bring respect from everyone. Along the Ganges River, they have taken on this appearance to wander and float with the sacred river of the four seasons. According to Hinduism, from the Supreme Being, the Trimurti Trinity was formed. That God is Brahma is called the Creator, God Vishnu is the Protector, and God Shiva is the Destroyer. These three gods govern the Hindu polytheistic system, governing the spiritual world, creating the world, protecting destruction, and giving birth to this world in the constant movement of the universe. The Ganges River is also mentioned many times in ancient Indian myths and legends through its connection with many other gods such as Shiva and Vishnu in Indian spiritual culture. According to legend, during the reign of King Sagara, at a ceremony to bless the kingdom, the sun god stole a horse from the king. 6,000 princes chased after it, and during the chase, they disturbed a hermit who was practicing in the deep forest. The hermit became angry and burned the princes alive with his fiery eyes. The king was extremely sad because the souls of the princes were drifting. The king had to ask for help from Shiva to free the souls of the princes. Shiva was moved and sent the goddess Ganga to help. She brought water from the celestial world to flow through the hair and feet of Shiva to the ground, and then flowed to the place where the princes were burned alive. Their souls were immediately liberated. To remember the goddess's merit, the river was created and named after her. So the sacred river Ganges in Indian is Ganga. The Ganges River is the river of salvation, the sacred river. For thousands of years, Hindus have flocked to Varanasi and several other ghats of the Ganges River all year round to admire and bathe in the river, praying for spiritual cleansing and purity of mind and body. The Ganges River is the spiritual support for Hindus in the belief that the holy water will wash away all sins. In Indian spiritual culture, the goddess of the Ganges is often depicted as a woman riding the crocodile Makara. The goddess Ganga, the guardian of the Ganges, tamed the crocodile Makara to help it atone for its sins. She granted Makara her mount. In medieval times, the goddesses of the Ganges and the Yamuna were carved on the sides of the gates of Hindu temples.
Our group came to the Ganges River at night to attend a prayer ceremony on the river. The Ganges, stretching 2,525 kilometers, has become a cultural and religious river that has served the spiritual life and agricultural economy of the Indian people for over 5,000 years. People believe that by immersing themselves in the Ganges even once in their lifetime, ideally as often as possible, all their sins will be cleansed. Therefore, when a family member loses a loved one, they bring the deceased's body to the riverbank for cremation and then scatter the remaining bones into the Ganges with the hope that the person will be reborn in the realm of Brahma. This belief has existed for thousands of years in Hinduism.
The Ganges River in Varanasi city is a place where Indian Prime Minister Modi has visited and attended many sacred rituals of the river. This event has demonstrated the government's interest in promotion of India's cultural and religious traditions, as well as the propaganda to protect and clean the Ganges River, the source of water that feeds more than 400 million people on both banks of the legendary river. More than 2,500 kilometers long, in the Ganges River Action Program, aiming to improve the pollution of the Ganges River. Hindus all wish to bathe at least once in the Ganges River when they leave this world, and their cremated ashes will be buried in the river, with the hope of ending the suffering of this life and having a good life in the next life. Every day at a designated location on the banks of the Ganges River in the city of Varanasi, cremation ceremonies take place. In Varanasi, death is always present but not a burden. Death here means liberation. Bonfires are lit to return the body to dust. Funeral music resounds to send the soul to another world. Life and death coexist like this, giving Hindus a gentle concept of human existence. This body is also impermanent.
Witnessing the cremation rituals on the banks of the Ganges in Varanasi, we are reminded of the impermanence and fragility of human life. Hindus believe that the most important thing is life itself. Death is only temporary. After death, they perform the cremation ceremony and then release the remaining bones into the Ganges or the nearest river. People believe that by immersing the bones into the Ganges after the cremation, the deceased will be reborn in union with Brahma, thus ending a life of suffering and entering a state of peace and happiness in heaven.
Time flows on the Ganges. Here, present life and past consciousness, along with religious rituals, are intertwined. Varanasi on the banks of the Ganges is such a city. Tourists and Hindus who come here feel as if they are living through many eras of cultural and religious history. Going back in time, the Ganges River was once a place where Buddha passed by several times. Sakyamuni Buddha, the religious reformer, brought his enlightenment to the polytheistic world of India and propagated Buddhism on both banks of the Ganges River. When Buddha preached, he said, "In the vast universe, there are countless worlds and countless sentient beings." He used the image of the sands of the Ganges River to describe the countless. Later, the idiom, "as countless as the sands of the Ganges," was often seen in Buddhist scriptures and then spread to the people. In the Buddha's sutras, there are many metaphors about the Ganges River. He once said, "The Buddhas of the past, present, and future are as numerous as the sands of the Ganges River." The Buddha also taught, "The Tathagata's holy wisdom is like the sands of the Ganges River. The Tathagata's supernatural powers are like the sands of the Ganges River. The Tathagata's Dharma body is like the sands of the Ganges River. The Buddha's skillful means are like the sands of the Ganges River. The Buddha's Dharma is like the sands of the Ganges River toward nirvana." For example, monks, the Ganges River inclines to the east, flows to the east. Likewise, monks, a monk who cultivates the four right efforts, perfects the four right efforts, inclines to nirvana, tends to nirvana, flows to nirvana. The Buddha once argued profoundly that if the Ganges River really had the ability to wash away sins, then aquatic and amphibian creatures, who have the advantage of living in its waters every day, would certainly be the first to be liberated. However, he asserted that liberation from sin does not depend on external factors, but lies in the inner transformation of each person. According to the Buddha's teachings, to eliminate bad karma, people need to actively transform it with opposite good karma. This is clearly illustrated through the metaphor of the Ganges River. He taught that oil, which is light, always floats on the surface of the Ganges River, while stones, which are heavy, will sink to the bottom of the river. This is a natural law, and no prayer, mantra or anything considered sacred can change that. Buddhist scriptures also state that, during the time of the Buddha, the Ganges Delta was the convergence of many major cultural, economic and political centers of that time. Because this delta was densely populated, economically developed, had convenient transportation and abundant products, Indians considered this place a sacred land. According to legend, the city of Varanasi was founded by the god Shiva, now more than 6,000 years old, is the cultural and religious center of North India from ancient times to the present. Located on the banks of the Ganges River in the state of Uttar Pradesh, India. This is one of the oldest continuously inhabited cities in the world. At the same time as the Sumerian civilization, this city is often called the City of Temples of Learning, the Temple City, the Holy City of India, the City of Light, and is also known as the cultural capital of India. For thousands of years, Indian Hinduism has reigned here. The Ganges River. The river has a unique position in the stream of human thought in the Middle Ages. To this day, Indians still say, Varanasi is older than history, older than tradition, older than legend, and its age is twice as old as all of these things combined. Today, Varanasi city still retains more than 2,000 large and small temples. The ancient temples are both large, majestic and magnificent, and small and pretty with exquisite sculptures, combining architectural styles of Hinduism and Islam. Kumbh Mela Festival in Prayagraj, the confluence of three sacred rivers Ganges, Yamuna, and Saraswati, every 12 years, starting this year on January 13, 2025, lasting 45 days, Kumbh Mela attracts at least 400 million people, far surpassing other religious events worldwide. Pilgrims take a dip at the confluence, believing it will cleanse their sins and free them from the cycle of reincarnation. In origin, this Ganges bathing festival is related to Hindu mythology, where Lord Vishnu dropped the nectar of immortality at 4 locations, including Prayagraj. Kumbh Mela is a prominent religious and cultural event, demonstrating the unity and faith of the Hindu community. Hindus wake up early, go to the steps along the Ganges to bathe, pray, practice yoga, welcome the new day, and they are satisfied with that lifestyle. They consider worship and prayer as their essential needs. Why, with so many rivers, do Indians choose the Ganges River every day to soak and bathe their idols in the holy water? Why do many generations of Indians live, drink water and perform all rituals around the sacred river? All we know is that Hindus are being passed down a spiritual concept and they practice it on the Ganges River. The concept of life and death. Every night on the Ganges River, the Arthi night sacrifice ceremony takes place. A ceremony to thank the god Shiva, the god of fire, the god of the sun, and the goddess Ganga, the river Ganges. The core of the night sacrifice is fire. 7 young Brahmin priests light the fire and perform on the riverside altar. They chant ancient Sanskrit songs, ring bells, and dance with fire using religious objects. The water of the Ganges River and fire are 2 perfect elements used in the ceremony, expressing solemnity and respect. Varanasi city is not only bustling day and night along the banks of the Ganges River, but also within the city there are always impressive cultural activities. Weddings in Varanasi are truly unique. The people here are very friendly. They dance all night long to celebrate happy couples. Varanasi, the city of music and light nights. Here time always seems to slow down because of the accumulation of legends and myths imbued with spirituality. Varanasi. Varanasi. Along the mysterious river, people's spiritual life takes place vividly, bustling with rituals and religious architectural works containing many profound spiritual meanings. The land of sacred relics and cultural heritage of humanity today still constantly urges the pilgrimage steps of believers all over the world. The Ganges River, which holds the heart of India, has attracted millions of people to its banks since the dawn of history. The architectural work of praying hands in the port area on the banks of the Ganges River is a modern architectural art complex. The symbol of the devout hands of the Ganges River goddess carries a spiritual color and is a message of peace for a legendary and mysterious land. Day and night, the river and wind carry the prayers of the Ganges goddess back to its source at the snowy peaks of the Himalayas. Along the Ganges Delta or fly to the ancient temples of the city of Varanasi to awaken the gods. The story of the Ganges, from its source to the sea, from ancient times to the present, is the story of Indian civilization and culture, of the rise and fall of empires, of great and proud cities, of human adventures and the wonder of Indian philosophers about the meaning of life. The Ganges, legendary, eternal, has flowed for thousands of years through the sacred consciousness of India.